Hello, guys. Welcome back to the TOPI Talk Show, presented to you by the FAD News. I'm your host for this week. I'm Axel, and today we are going to discuss characteristics of critical readers and as well as writers' stance, tone, bias, and also purpose. Today we have two special guests, Dylan and Felix. I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hello
Go ahead,
everyone.
guys.
My name is Felix Leonardo. Currently, I'm studying at Prasetya Mulia University, and I'm a part of the FAD News.
Hello everyone, my name is Dylan and I am also a part of the FAD News. And today me and Felix are going to answer some questions regarding critical thinking or critical readers.
All right, guys. Thank you. We're going to dig deep on the questions. Right now, starting from the first question, in your opinion, what are the characteristics of critical readers? Go ahead.
From what I learned about characteristics of critical readers, I got 3 points. The first one are critical readers must skilled at understanding, analyzing, and evaluating arguments and viewpoints. Second one, read open-mindedly to opposing points of view and welcome criticism of beliefs and assumptions. The third one is we need to think independently and are not afraid to disagree with the articles we read.
All right.
Okay. Well, for me, critical readers in the viewpoint of how good they are. They are they're able to get to the heart or to the core of an issue or a problem without being distracted by details of the story or by the content of the other content of the book. So basically, they know what to focus on and they know what to not focus on. So critical readers are very gifted, in my opinion, and they also pursue the truth and are curious about a wide ranges of issues of the story about the book. They really they really dig deep into the book as well. Um, and the final one, they have the intellectual perseverance to pursue insights or truths despite obstacles or difficulties. So yeah, they are very how do you say it? They're very hardworking in a way, but then they are very skilled at the same time.
All right. So my next question would be, can everyone just be a critical reader, or you should practice it, or is it just for special people with skills?
Well,
Anyone can answer. Go
I
ahead.
think I think you need time to be one. It's you can't just be a critical reader in the first moment you start to read. So I think that you need to gain experience,
So it needs
and
practice, you would say.
practice, yeah, and time too, and like a lot of books and stuff. So yeah, it's not easy to be a critical reader because only some are actually really good at being one.
Adding
How about you,
to
Felix?
Dylan answers, in my opinion, is that critical readers are not born, but it is we have to practice it like that.
All right. So my follow-up would be, how would you practice this skills that you mentioned?
The first thing I'm gonna suggest is um, read a lot of article, read a lot of news. From that, you must have a mindset about how we think critically about the news. But it needs practice, not only just a single read of the news.
All right.
Yeah,
So Dylan, do you have anything to add?
I agree with Felix that you need to gain experience in order to be somewhere you want to be. It's not easy, obviously, and you need a lot of knowledge and practice to be a critical reader. So just continue to read and explore many different articles or many different writing styles, basically.
All right, so my last question on this topic would be: do you guys consider yourself as critical readers right now?
Well, not really. I mean, uh, if I read an article, maybe I could see through the problem or see through the uh generality and stuff, but I wouldn't consider myself a critical reader.
All right. How about you, Felix?
Uh, from my knowledge, I can know that I'm a bit of critical readers. A step, a little step again, I can be a perfect readers. Because from my high school, I practice a lot of analyzing news articles or analyzing the problem from my subjects, from my school subjects. For example, for my economic subjects, I have to analyze about news, about how a company falls down because of COVID-19, like that.
So next, since you guys discussed a lot about news, I'd like for you guys to see this article that I'm about to share to you guys. They're attacking Jokowi for his irresponsibility over the pollution in Jakarta. So, do you guys think that there's? Can you guys give me an example of stance, tone, bias, and also the purpose of this writer,
Okay.
and explain what
so
those are?
Can I start with the definitions?
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So for me, a writer's tone, a good writer really adjusts to the setting and the purpose of the book or the article. He or she follows the objective and the emotion it wants to capture, and in different themes or in different situations, they will go with the flow and set the tone to the level of excitement and the vibe of the story they want to write. So basically, if the story is a sad story, then of course they'll not put that much anger or happiness in the tone of the article. So a good writer can adjust to the mood or to the emotion of the article. And for a purpose, it's pretty obvious that a good writer knows the objective of the story as a whole and where it is going to take place. They know how to build up a good storyline and know how to start, how to finish, how to build up, and same as the tone. The objective of a story is to capture the most emotions out of all the readers in a good way, of course.
Okay, adding Dylan's answers, I'm gonna answer about what is stance and what is bias. Stance, by definition, is the attitude of a person or organization towards something, a standpoint. When discussing a stance within the confines of written literature, especially news, we can consider this as the writer's perspective when approaching the conflict. Stance can be considered as the attitude or position of writers approaching a topic. This differs with bias, whereas bias will be a predisposition of the writer creating a prejudice towards the topic.
All right, thank you guys. Why do you think this is important for a writer to have probably a purpose or a bias or a tone or stance? Why is it important that we should know this, and as well as for the writer to be able to show this?
Because without any of these things that we just discussed about, it's really hard to build up an article that people will like. It's going to be hard to communicate with the audience you want to connect with. Yeah, that's basically it. And connecting with the audience or with the readers is the number one most important aspect of actually writing something for me.
All right.
For me, is that with the stance, tone, bias, and purpose of the writers in some given text, we can clearly analyze about the news that they are writing, because if they have no emotion that they put on writing the text become less interesting and a bit of plain. There's no purpose or tone or bias or stance in the topic, so that it becomes boring reading the article, because it can't connect with the audience emotions.
So what you guys are saying, it's very crucial for these aspects to be inside of an article or a writing to be able to connect the audience with the writer, making them both have the same perspective. Is that it?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
that's
All
true.
right. So from the article I sent you guys, can you guys discuss how are those criteria shown in the article?
Okay, maybe Felix can start with the stance and the bias.
Okay, from my perspective, I can see that the stance the writer showed through the evaluation of the presented topic being a discomfort to most people. Their opinion pleads to the topic from a citizen's view, albeit being supported by data that can be claimed or considered as rhetoric due to the insignificance of personal experience to the represent the many. And for the bias, based on the article, I analyzed that the writer has a bias towards Indonesia President Joko Widodo. This can be proven by the writer stating the article title, starting with Indonesian President, found negligent over Jakarta filthy air. But on the other hand, it isn't only Mr. Joko Widodo's fault of the Jakarta filthy air. Instead, it is also because the provincial government, the environment ministry, and other top officials for not responding to the Jakarta air pollution they should be.
Well, yeah. For the tone, adding to Felix's answer on the bias, I think that the tone follows the tone in the title of the article already says itself that that the writer is pretty much exhausted and confused on why the government is not doing what they should be doing to recover the filthy air of Jakarta, basically. So we can acknowledge that the writer's tone that was used are serious and upset about how the president and the government have been negligent to all of these things. And for the purpose of this article, it's to remind the government or to give or to send them a warning that these things or this particular matter should be settled right away.
All right. So, thank you guys so much for your help in discussing today's topic. I'm going to conclude this topic and this session. So, today we discussed about critical readers, the importance of critical readers, and how we can be critical reader, as well as why stance, tone, bias, and purpose is really important, and when reading an article or writing one, to be able to convey your message to your audience well. All right, thank you guys. See you guys next week.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye bye.